I've been in Pendleton for a year and near 2 months, and I got resisting law enforcement. I ran from a cop and ended up in a cornfield, stayed there for an hour, and they were going to bring the K-9 unit out on me, so I just gave up.
What'd you do that made you want to run from the cop?
Well, me and my parents had issues, and so I ran from home, and I was gone for about a day, and my parents called me in as a runaway, so I seen a cop coming down a highway, and I ran into a cornfield.
You said you and your parents had issues. What kind of issues?
My parents, we don't ever agree on things very much, so, like, she'll tell me to do something, or he'll tell me to do something, and I'll be like, well, why would I do it this way when I can do it this way? And teenagers backtalk their parents, so.
And how did they react when you backed?
I got grounded a lot. I ended up, I can't really say that I ended up hating them, but I ended up not liking them very much. Because I was always on, like, some type of punishment. I never got to see my friends that often. So I just was like, screw this, I'm running away.
Was that the first time you ever ran away?
No, ma'am. I ran away a couple times before. Like, my first time, I was like 12 when I ran away, and I got arrested, and I was taken to a treatment facility. I was there for about 2 years, and I went back home. And after that, I ran away again because of problems with my parents. And I came back to my house by the cop because he decided to pick me up and not take me to do my juvenile. And I was there for about a month, and I was like, man, this is getting old again. I'm running away. So I ran away again. And that's when all this happened, so.
So you're 12 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
That was the first time you were running away.
Yes, ma'am.
That seems like a simple thing, a 12-year-old running away from home.
It was to begin with.
So didn't the cops just pick you up and take you home and say, now
Well,
behave?
Well, I had issues before that. Like, once before I tried to set my brother's bed on fire while he was laying in it. Because he hit me, so I was going to kill his ass. And I didn't appreciate it. But I got mad at him. And then my parents tried to lock me in my room so I couldn't cause havoc because I had an anger issue at the time. So I dug through my wall, and I got into my dad's office, and I decided that I was going to rip his screen out and run away. So I ripped his screen out, hopped out of the window, and ran.
It seems like there has to be something that's led to all this. Was there abuse in the home? Was there...
Well, see, my parents that I have now aren't exactly my actual parents. They're more of my adoptive family. When I was about 2, my biological dad gave me up because he couldn't he couldn't pay for anything that I needed, like school, clothes, food, and decided he wanted to do drugs. My dad, I don't really consider him my dad. I just, you know what I'm saying, call him like my father, because he was the one that put the sperm in my mom and had me. So he's worse than me, really. Like, he's shot at cops before and done a whole bunch, drank, smoked crack and marijuana and coke and all kinds of stuff. My mom was the same way. So the cops took me from there, and I got put in a foster home. And when I was in a foster home, my biological mom and dad that I have now decided to say, hey, I'm going to adopt you, and we're going to take you into the house. So one day, I packed all my stuff up and went there. I was there for like a year and 6 months, and then they adopted me. And then everything went downhill. Like, I started arguing more, started fighting. I started getting in a group of like kids that their parents really didn't give a hoot about them. So I kept hanging with them. And eventually my parents was like, well, you got to stop, so you're not leaving the house for so-and-so time. So I was like, no, I'm going to run away. So I tried to run away. And my brother, he was faster than me. So he ran like right after me and tackled me and drug me back in the house.
Was this a brother from the adoptive family?
Nah, this is my biological brother. My biological brother had the same issues as me. But when he was older than me, and he used to like take care of me, and I had a bad history of doing stuff that I wasn't supposed to, even when I was a little baby. So, I mean, my parents weren't really there that much. I can, like, my brother, when he always tried to keep me out of trouble, but I never really liked it. I always got mad at him for it, because when I was a little kid, I liked to do what I wanted to do, and there was no and if or but about it.
Did you witness violence in the house when you were young? Do you remember?
I remember my biological mom getting hit a lot.
By your dad?
Yes. My dad would come home drunk and smack her around, and then like she'd move out and then come back and they'd do it all again, until one day they took me to foster care.
Do you remember how old you were when you were put in foster care?
I was about 6.
So for the first 6 years of your life, you were with your biological parents, but it was pretty traumatic.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember them being violent with you? Was there any abuse? Do you remember?
I don't believe that they did, but I mean, I remember they spanked my brother one time. But other than that, I don't remember anything.
Did you start to think that violence, because you watched it between your mom and dad, that was normal?
I knew I wouldn't say it was normal, but I knew it was the way life was, so I kind of like absorbed it and started acting the way that my dad did.
That's what I would say, because if you grow up seeing so much violence, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what led to you wanting to be defiant?
Well,
Fight?
it wasn't so much of somebody being negative and then I copied, like monkey see, monkey do. It wasn't so much of that. It was just I seen everybody else trying to be cool, so I was like, I'm gonna try to be cool too, because I was new in the neighborhood. I didn't fit in anywhere, so I started doing bad. Started acting up, doing dumb stuff. Started getting along with a lot of people, but my parents didn't like it very much. So started problems at home. That's when I started getting locked up.
So you said when you first ran away, take me through that day, and like, what did you got up, you got in trouble, and that's when you decided you were going to run away?
Well, I got up, and I knew it was just going to be another trouble day, because every day is trouble. And at this time, I was like about 7, maybe 8, maybe, and I peed in my pants when I was sleeping, and it got all over my bed. So my mom got mad and took everything out of the room. So I was just like, okay, I'm mad and I'm gonna act up. So I started cussing, screaming, pounding on the door, punching holes in the walls. And she was like, either you sit there or I'm gonna call the cops. So I sat there, and I sat there for about 3-4 hours, and I was like, I can't stay here anymore. So I got up, dug a hole through the wall, and my dad's office is right next to my door. So, it's right next to my room. So when I dug through there, it led right into his office. And I got in there, and it was under his desk. So, I crawled out from under his desk, and I used his pocket knife that was laying on his desk to cut out the screen, and I hopped out the screen and ran through my backyard to my school. And I jumped up on the monkey bars and sat there for about 45 minutes. And then I was like, I'm gonna run away from here and I'm leaving the country. Something I didn't want to be here. So I jumped off there and I started running as fast as I could, as hard as I could. And it didn't matter what direction I went. I just wanted to leave. And I got on the other side of our town, and there was a cop coming down the street, and I was sitting on a bench. And he was like, "Are you Walter Thompson?" I was like, "Yes, that's me." He was like, "Well, can you step over here, son?" I stepped over there. And I could barely see over the cop, over the door to the car. And he was like, "Step back. I'm gonna open my car door." So I stepped back. He opened the car door, and he was like, "Well, just get in the back seat, and we're gonna leave, and we're gonna take you back to your house." Well, I got in the cop car, but he didn't take me back to my house. He took me to the police station, and it was a big room. It had a blue desk, and I called my mom, and I started crying like, "I don't want to be here. I hate you," and all this other. Started cussing her out, and then like the cop pulled the phone from me, and called me. He was talking to my mom, and my mom, I guess, told her to take me to the juvenile. So at 12 years old, I was sitting in juvenile hall.
Have you been home since?
Yeah, I went home. I went back home when I was like 14, and I got into gang banging, and like there was this kid named Devin Sims, and he was cool. I knew him from school from when I was a little kid, and he was part of a gang called Imperial Gangsters, and well, he was like, "If you want to get down, you got to do this and this and this." So I started doing stuff. It was like I robbed a couple people and beat a couple people up, and I can't say I trashed a couple cars, but I scraped a couple car windows, busted a window, and ran from the cops a couple times.
Were you ever caught for anything?
Nope. And after that, he was just like, "Okay, then just come over to my house at 8 o'clock. And I was like, "Okay, I'm going to be over your house at 8 o'clock. I called my mom, and I was like, "Is there anything you want me to do between now and 8 o'clock? And so she was like, "Well, our house needs cleaned. There's somebody coming over." I think her name was Julia or something like that. And I was like, "Okay, I'm going to come home." So I came home, and I started helping her clean. And when 8 o'clock rolled around, I was still cleaning. So I called Devin up, and I was like, "I'm going to be there a little late." He was like, "All right." So I was like, "All right, bro." I hung up the phone and finished cleaning the bathroom. I was like, "Mom, I'm going to Devin's house. I'll be back in a couple hours." She was like, "Okay, don't get in no trouble." I was like, "I don't plan on it." I didn't plan on getting in any trouble. So I went over to his house, and there was like 10 people there. It was a whole bunch of people. And he was just like, "Come here, man. Step in the garage." He opened the garage. I went in the garage. It was like, there were shelves and everything. No car in there, just shelves and toolboxes and wire and all kinds of stuff. And like, as soon as I stepped in there, somebody hit me. I fell down to the ground. They started kicking me and stomping me. They beat me up for about like 6 minutes. And they held me up. I got up. My eye was swollen, bruised, stuff like that. I had a black eye.
Why
And
did you?
it was an initiation into Imperial Gangster. So he was like, "You're in now." So every day, right after I was done with everything I had to do at the house, I'd go chill with Devin, and we'd just chill, talk. He showed me how to smoke marijuana, but I didn't want to smoke it because I was like, man, if they're P testing me, then I'm gonna go back to juvenile. I don't want to go back there. He was like, "Well, all right, man, just be cool then." So he showed me it like right before I left his house. It was a Wednesday, and he put it away, and I called my mom, and I was like, "I'm coming home. I'm gonna be there in like 30 minutes," because I was gonna stop by the gas station and fill my car up. Well, it wasn't really my car, but I stole it. I called in my car.
So how involved were you in the gang?
I did anything that the people that told me, that were higher than me in rank, if they told me to do something, I had to do it. I was pretty high. I could do what I had. I could tell like other lower gang members to do stuff.
What would be a typical thing you tell them to do?
It depends on what kind of rank they wanted. If they wanted a couple stars, which is like a couple steps towards your next rank, then I tell them, go beat that kid up, or go shoot at them, or rob somebody, something. It depended on who they were and like how high they were. Ever since then, I try not to do that stuff anymore. I try to quit. I don't like gangbanging no more. But I was really bad. I was mean and rude and deceitful. But
did you like feeling that way?
nah, I didn't really like fighting or anything else, but it was just like, I'm gonna do this because I don't want them to think that I'm a wimp.
Was it peer pressure?
Yeah, some of it was. Part of it was I wanted to be in the gang because everybody on that side of the town was in it. All the kids was like, man, you don't want to mess with them. They're crazy, man. So I was like, all right, I'm about to get down with them. I don't want nobody messing with me. Then nobody mess with me. And then when I got locked up and I was all by myself, with nobody here from my town, I was like, man, what if I start saying I'm this and then they don't know what I'm talking about? So I just quit claiming it.
I want to go back to something you said way earlier that I forgot to ask you about. You said you set your brother's bed on fire. When was that? How old were you?
I was about 14. It was one day we were playing basketball and I shot it, and when I went up, my elbow hit him in the back of the head. When he turned, he got mad, punched me in the jaw. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna get him. So when he fell asleep, I took antifreeze and I put it on the corner of the bed and lit it on fire. And it didn't burn him none. It just like the corner of the bed set on fire. He woke up. He was like, what the heck? Started cussing at me and got up and he beat me up. But I'd rather him beat me up than him die. 'Cause he's cool. He just, I don't know. He was a kid growing up.
I could kill my brother.
I didn't care. It was, if you do something to me, I'm gonna do something worse to you. Just how I dealt with things.
Were you sort of in a state of rage?
It was just natural. Like, I didn't like you, then I was gonna hurt you. If I did like you, you're cool.
Would you get over those feelings pretty fast as far as?
Sometimes, if somebody did like knock me over or punch me, then I get mad and stand up, start cussing, swinging, and get real mad, agitated. So, it depended on what kind of situation it was.
Do you think that there's a direct relationship between you witnessing violence in your house, and between your mom and dad, and you lighting your brother's bed on fire?
No.
Really?
I don't believe that it was because of them, but maybe I don't believe in blaming my actions on other people. Because even though I seen them do stupid stuff, and I did stupid stuff, it doesn't mean it's their fault. Because I can control what I do and how I do it and who I do it to. But I can't just let things that happened in my past overrule me.
So when are you expected to get out?
It's sometime in December or the 1st or 2nd of January.
And where are you going when you leave?
Whites, I was told. I believe so.
So you're not going home?
No.
Will you ever go home?
I hope so. I'm not sure, because I want to apologize to my parents and pay for a lot of things that I damaged. But I don't know. I'm gonna deal with the hand I've got right now. So.
Were you ever violent with them? Did you ever hit them or abuse them?
I fought my dad one time, but that was because I was lying to him, and he didn't like the way I was lying to him. So he got in my face and was like, "Why you keep lying to me?" And I pushed him, and he pushed me back, and then I swung on him, and then he beat me up.
Then he what?
He beat me up.
He beat you up?
Yeah.
Is this your biological parent or your adopted?
Adoptive. He didn't do it just because he could. He did because it was a fight. I'm not gonna say it was mean. I don't like him for it or nothing else, because we shook up afterwards. I shook his hand, he shook mine. He said, "Don't ever lie to me again."
How did he beat you up? What did he
We would just fight. I'd hit him, he'd hit me. I'd hit him, he'd hit me.
Do they not want you back in the house now?
I don't know. But whatever they decide, I'll deal with it. Because I put them in the position they're in, really. They had a lot. They had enough money to go on vacation for a whole year. And between me getting locked up and my medicine and all this other stuff, they don't have nothing. So
Do you feel guilty about it?
sometimes, and other times, I'm like, it's not all my fault. But sometimes I'm like, yeah, all this is my fault. I don't even know why I did it.
So the plan is you'll go to White's, which is a residential placement facility.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna try and get my GED and get a job. I don't want to mess up no more. Cause this is like, now I know next time I'm not gonna be in here or in a treatment facility. I'm gonna be over there in prison. And even though this is bad, that's worse. So I don't wanna be over there. I figure I'm 18 and I can't live like a kid anymore. So I gotta do something.
Is your hope that you'll end up back with your adoptive parents?
I don't hope to end up back with him. I'll always keep in touch with him and say I'm sorry and try to pay for the things that I messed up. But I'm not gonna live in their home anymore. I feel like my welcome is worn out over there. It's not particularly sad. It's upsetting, but I can't get upset because it was my fault.